Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's review we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Generation Selects Deluxe Class Black Roritchi. And here we have Black Roritchi fully transformed up into his 6-wheeled armor buggy mode. Now if this figure looks familiar to you, that is because it is just a direct repaint of the Deluxe Class Fast Track, and if anything this figure is a major indication that we are indeed getting a repaint of Scorponok in the form of Black Zarak. A black repaint of Scorponok, I just absolutely cannot wait. But bringing in Black Roritchi for a closer look, you can see that for the most part this figure has been molded in gold plastic. Eek, I know, gold plastic syndrome is probably going to greatly affect this figure in the long term, as well as painted in gold. Now the reasoning behind why I shudder when I mention gold plastic is because if you've been collecting Transformers for a long time, you'll know that gold plastic syndrome is something that really does haunt figures that do have gold plastic. Gold plastic tends to break very easily and doesn't even take that long to degrade over time. So with some of the areas here which are just solid gold plastic, only time will tell whether or not Hasbro and Takara Tomy have learned from their previous mistakes. I can say, however, though, that this does feel like very durable plastic. It doesn't feel cheaper in terms of quality when compared next to some of the other Earthrise figures, so I really do hope this will hold up over time. The only areas of which I really worry about are here for these hinge joints for the elbows. This section here I don't worry about whatsoever. This is a very thick piece, but bringing it in for a closer look, you can see that we have all of the same details that we had on Fast Track. In my opinion, I do actually really like this colour scheme, and I do prefer this particular rendition of this mould over Fast Track. I think that it looks a lot more visually appealing and is a lot more premium in terms of a paint deco. You can see we've got the purple blasters as well as the purple wheels here as opposed to the orange. So basically any areas that you see here that are purple were orange on the original Fast Track mould, and just bringing in Fast Track for a closer comparison you can see the differences. In terms of the colour scheme here, initially I did think that this was going to be perhaps a Guardminder, however it's got a lot darker of a colour scheme than compared to that of the Guardminder, and of course this is Black Roritchi, but you can see, just comparing those, really nice looking figures. And of course, both of these will deserve a place on the shelf, especially if we do get that Black Zarak. He does roll really nicely as well, which is great to see. So you can see that he can just roll all the way around. You can have him rolling over Scorponok's base, or hopefully eventually Black Zarak's base, and then bringing in the Headmaster, similarly to what we could do with the Fast Track. You just take this tab, slide it into this slot here, and you can have the Headmaster of Scorponok rolling out here with Black Roritchi. Transforming him up into robot mode is exactly the same as it was for Fast Track, so just disengage this section here, come to the back and just hinge all this off. You can see that we do once again have that modular connector piece that you can port onto any figures that have this type of clip-on system. I won't demonstrate it here in this review as I did show that off in my Fast Track review, but turning to the transformation, you're just going to want to fold the feet out and then fold the legs out, fold these sections down, and that is the lower torso fully transformed. And then come to this section, pull all of this off, untab this, rotate the head around, and then just take this, snap that over the top, snap these in, and then turning to the arms, the hands are an indication of how this is supposed to go. So rotate this around, snap that into place. And of course, repeat the same process here with the opposite side. Just rotate the wrists and then bring out the dagger section. Snap that into the back. And here we have Black Roritchi fully transformed up into his really awesome looking robot mode. And so now taking a look here at Black Roritchi in his robot mode, I've got to say that this is a phenomenal looking redeco. Really awesome colour scheme on this release. It's just a shame that it is gold plastic and probably will crumble into a million pieces in the future. But for now, we've got a super cool looking robot. Bringing him in for a closer look, you can see that phenomenal looking head sculpt. They have opted to paint the front section here metallic gold, whereas the back section is just that gold plastic. The entire torso region has been painted in this very nice metallic gold as well, and you've got the metallic blue there for where I presume the front windscreen of his buggy mode would go. We've got some nice details here for the shoulders. You can see this here is all metallic gold, whereas the forearms are just gold plastic. Purple blasters, and then turning down to the thighs, you've got some nice gold paint applications here. Black molded plastic for the thighs. Lovely gold paint apps here for the shins, and I love how the purple contrasts. And then finally we do have gold plastic there for the feet. Turning him around to the back, you can see for the most part this entire section is completely unpainted. It only has the blue and the purple paint app, so there's no gold highlights on that whatsoever, which is a slight drawback, as when we get it into vehicle mode it does look slightly drab when compared next to the really awesome metallic gold. But nonetheless, this figure definitely does give me vibes of when Takara Tomy were more independent and used to just do repaints as opposed to actually collaborating with Hasbro. Definitely really awesome looking colour scheme. For articulation, we do get a swivel here at the head. The arms can rotate the full 360 as well as hinge up and down. Full 360 rotation at the bicep, as well as a 90-degree bend there at the elbow. Full 360 there at the wrist. Full 360 at the waist. The legs can kick forwards that far, as well as back that far. Can also do the splits. Full 360 at the thigh, well over 90-degree bend there at the knee due to the hollow nature of the transformation. And then finally we do have an ankle rocker joint here which can go to a great degree. However, I wouldn't perhaps recommend bending that too far, seeing as this is a complete gold plastic piece. But nonetheless, a really awesome looking repaint. Let's bring out Fast Track for a comparison. And here for a quick comparison, here we have Black Roritchi compared here next to Fast Track, and you can just see the drastic difference in terms of the colour scheme. I still do really like Fast Track as he is very authentic to his G1 counterpart, and of course Black Roritchi is a complete separate character and is supposed to be paired next to Black Zarak, but I just really cannot wait for that Black Zarak repaint. This figure actually hypes me up for a figure which hasn't even been announced yet, but of course, seeing as we have this, surely Hasbro and Takara have got to repaint Scorponok and retool him into Black Zarak. And so talking about Black Zarak, of course, Black Roritchi here can transform into the Tyrant Spear. So just to quickly show you this, you're just going to want to remove the arms and then just detach this back section as well as the dagger and then separate this piece here from the torso. You're then going to want to bring the legs around into a configuration along the lines of this. Take this section here and just open it up and then bring the dagger and slide that nice and securely into place. And then this here will just slide and snap into place. And then we can just bring the arms now, snap this in, and then rotate that around. Repeat the same process here. And here we have Black Roritchi fully transformed up into his Tyrant Spear mode, and similarly to some of the other modes, I really do prefer the look here of the new colour scheme that we get with Black Roritchi when compared to that of Fast Track. I just think that the gold and the purple highlights look so much cooler, and I'm sure that this will be an awesome piece when paired with Black Zarak. And here for a quick Tyrant Spear size comparison and just general comparison, here we have Fast Track and Black Roritchi fully transformed into their spear modes, and both looking drastically different with their colour schemes. As stated before, of course, they're both meant to represent completely different characters, but I just think that in terms of my own personal preference, I much prefer the gold metallic colour scheme that we get here with Black Roritchi than compared to here next to Fast Track, which was already a really nice looking deco and is of course accurate to his G1 counterpart, but here the metallic paint applications I just think give this a much more premium looking vibe. So that was my review for the Transformers Generation Selects Deluxe Class Black Roritchi. Personally, I love this repaint by both Hasbro and Takara Tomy. Out of all of the most recent Gen Selects reveals, this one here I think is definitely the best out of them all. I think that the paint scheme works so nicely with the mould. The metallic gold and even the gold plastic to an extent looks really nice. Of course, we do not know whether or not this figure is going to suffer from gold plastic syndrome, as it is a relatively new piece. However, when handling this, I can assure you that the plastic does feel slightly better in terms of quality than compared next to some of the older releases that had gold plastic in them. I really like the contrast between the purples and the golds, and of course if they are going to release a Black Zarak repaint, then you're going to have to pick up this piece here in order to accompany that. So in all, if you're a fan